Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Little Pep Talks, your source for inspiration, motivation, and feel good news. I'm your host, Ashley Tosh. On today's episode, we will be discussing what I like to call the growth mindset. I have found that it is really common for us to tell ourselves that we already are open-minded and that we have already adopted a growth mindset. And the moment you think you've got it all locked down and figured out, you've set yourself up for disappointment. By definition, having a mindset for growth and adaptability isn't something you can achieve and then move on to the next thing. There will always be new ideas, new stressors, and new obstacles that will appear in our lives that will challenge us. And that is a good thing. We oftentimes find ourselves unknowingly stuck in a fixed mindset. In this kind of mindset, we see a mistake or a challenge and we think, this is it. I can't recover from this failure. I might as well give up. But with a growth mindset, we can approach these failures sort of like improv, with a yes and attitude. I failed this math test. With a growth mindset, we would say, well, yes, I failed, and I get to learn from my mistakes and do better next time. With a growth mindset, we are always looking for the next steps. Where do we go from here? So, how do we do this? How do we adapt a growth mindset? We need to do two things. Number one, change our inner dialogue. And number two, practice patience, grace, and positivity. Now, I said these were two separate steps, but that is only half true. Both of these concepts build upon each other, so they are actually very intertwined. Let's tackle number one first. How do we change our inner dialogue? The most effective method for me is this. Step one, have intrusive negative thoughts or negative inner dialogue. Step two, recognize that I'm going down a negative mental path and stop for a moment. Step three, take one of my negative thoughts and turn it into a positive. Step four, repeat step three until I run out of negative thoughts or feel better. Now, you might be wondering, how do you put a positive spin on negative thoughts? And honestly, the answer is that it takes practice. So let's practice. Instead of thinking, this is so messed up, I can't make it any better. Try, I can always find ways to improve. Let's start with something small. I love this example because it applies to so many situations. Is your house messier than you'd like and you're feeling like it might just be pointless to clean it since it takes so much energy and it's just going to get dirty again in an hour? Start with something small. Is there a dirty plate or cup next to you? Bring it to the kitchen. Dirty clothes on the floor? Put them all in the hamper. When we complete short, simple, or easy tasks, we can sometimes feel motivated to do other short, simple, or easy tasks. Doing a few of these kinds of tasks can dramatically change the situation, whether it be a messy home, work presentation, or even a hobby. What are some of your favorite little tasks to complete to reset your mood or motivational energy? Another example. Instead of thinking, I give up, try, let me try this a different way. Sometimes our first, second, or even third try just doesn't get the job done, and it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Take a step back and see if a different perspective might give you some inspiration for a new game plan. It's kind of like tying your shoes. Some people use the bunny ear method, some people use the loop, swoop, and pull method, and some people just don't tie their shoes. How can you apply this way of thinking to your problem? Okay, one last example. Instead of thinking, I'm terrible at this, they're so much better than me, I should quit. Try, I need to practice more. What do I need to work on first? What can I learn from them? This is a perfect example of a perspective shift. Just because someone else is good at something, or better than you at something, for the moment, doesn't mean you can't get to that level too. More than one person is allowed to be good at something. Let's say you're playing volleyball, and one of your opponents could jump so high and block all your shots. Now what? You could sulk, or you could analyze. What do they incorporate into their training routine to improve their jumps? If you don't know, ask. And if asking sounds daunting, Google it. What about number 2? How do we practice patience, grace, and positivity? The simple fact is you need to treat yourself how you would treat your best friend. What if your best friend didn't get the promotion at work? Would you tell them they suck and they should quit their job because obviously they're terrible at it? No. I hope not, at least. You would probably let them vent to you and then maybe help them brainstorm ways they can improve their skills to get the promotion next time. Or maybe their work situation is actually toxic and you help them update the resume and look for a new job where they can be valued. Do this for yourself. You deserve space to feel your feelings and vent, but you also deserve to give yourself a second chance and help yourself improve and grow. Growth isn't easy, and the path might not always be linear, but it's always worth it. Try putting this into practice next time something doesn't go according to plan, and let me know how you flipped your perspective and adopted a growth mindset. Send me an email at littlepeptalks@sleepycat.media, and I might just share your story during one of the upcoming episodes. I hope to hear from you soon. See you next time on Little Pep Talks. What are you feeling good about today?